What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Ford Mustang GT Premium with the 6-speed manual transmission. Huge thank you to jc.schied over at Koons Sterling Ford here in Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you're interested in this particular Mustang or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have JC's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a beautiful day outside here today. This just so happens to be the second Mustang I'm doing a video with today. The first Mustang I did a video with was a black GT Premium with the high package and the 10-speed automatic transmission. This is the GT Premium with no high package. So this is the 400A. The other one was a 401A. And this one also has the 6-speed manual transmission. So like I always do, first we're going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Ford Mustang GT Premium. And this particular one has been painted in Oxford white. One of the first things I wanted to say at the beginning of this video is that for 2024, the Mustang as a whole got redesigned inside and out, but it does retain a familiar feel to the S550s. So it's just a little bit different, but I think the little changes that they made makes it look a lot more updated and a lot better in my personal opinion. And then, by the way, this pertains to the GTs. The GTs get a respectable power bump for the 2024 model year as well. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start on the exterior. I'm going to start with the headlights, then we'll work our way down and around into the rear end of the S650. So up here, as standard with the GT Premium, you get LED headlights with automatic high beams as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. Right now it is doing the light welcome lighting sequence, so basically like bounces from light to light. And one thing I wanted to say, with the LED turn signals, you now get LED sequential turn signals up here as well as what you get in the back, like Mustangs have been doing forever. Now, talking about the headlight bezel, you get a mix of silver and black for your headlight bezel, and if you wanted a fully blacked out headlight bezel, you might want to look into getting the $1,195 Night Pony package. That would give you a black headlight bezel, black badges, as well as everything else that you can read in that package right now. Now, taking a step back and to the center of the vehicle, you get a gloss black functional hood vent up top here. One thing I really like is that you can feel the heat extracting out of the engine. So not only is this a cosmetic piece, it is also a functional piece as well. And I love a nicely looking thing that is also functional at the same time. That is exactly what this hood vent is up top here. Now, taking a step back, let's take in the entire front end of the new S650. So at the center of your front end, you get a gloss black front grille that is mesh, and you have your Pony logo located at the center of that. You also get two gloss black grille nostrils on the outsides of the grille. So one right there, that is what I'm referring to as your nostrils. And then I don't know if I pointed this out, but you have your Pony logo located at the center of the grille. And then this entire piece right here is your gloss black grille surround, and that kind of about does it for the front grille. Coming down just a little bit, you get a satin black lower as well as satin black outer grills. I'll give you kind of a closer view of what those look like on the outside here. You can get some of that satin black trim as well as the satin black mesh, so that's a closer look at that. The lights are doing the lighting sequence again because I have the proximity key fob in my pocket. So basically that is what the lights do when you get close to the vehicle. And then last but not least, finishing things up here at the front end, you also get a satin black front lip all the way at the bottom of your front bumper. And that kind of about does it for the front end of the S650. Here's a closer look at that little 3/4 shot of it. And then right here, that little orange thing is your side marker light slash your reflector. But now, working our way into the wheel and tire setup, these are the standard 19-inch shadow silver painted wheels, and they are wrapped in 255/40 Continental Pro Contact RX tires. This is a square stance vehicle, so the tires are the same size at all four corners. And then, by the way, if you do not like these wheels, there are about 8 other wheel options to choose from. However, some of those wheels that you can choose from do require packages. One of those packages in particular, I mentioned this just a little bit ago, but if you wanted more of like a blacked out look, you could opt for the $1,195 Night Pony package, which essentially would give you black headlight bezels, black pony badges, black wheels, black mirror caps, so on and so forth. But now, working our way down the side back into the wheel setup, I do want to say that as standard with the GT Premium, you do get these 4-piston Brembo front brakes. And then working our way over to here, obviously you get the 5.0 badging on both of your fenders, and then rain sensing wipers come standard with the GT Premium. Into the mirror caps now, you get body color mirror caps, and as standard they are heated, manual folding. You get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. And then last but not least, on the bottom of your side mirrors, you get a little light right here that lights up and basically projects a pony right here at night. Very, very cool. It makes it a little bit easier to step in and out of the vehicle, but it's also pretty cool when you walk up to the vehicle and you see the pony projection on the ground. I think that is pretty sweet. And then one thing I wanted to say is that with the GT Premium High, or the High Premium package, whatever, the 401A, you get integrated turn signals on your side view mirrors, where again, this one is the 400A, so it does not get that. Now let's do a little side profile shot of this thing. Looks very similar to the S550, except you can notice quite a big difference here at the rear end. But before we get into that, like I said, black window trim, body color door handles with keyless access, and then you get these satin black side skirts on both sides. I'll show you a closer view of what that looks like right here. Very sporty. And then you get a body color shark fin antenna up top here. Get your integrated third brake light up top there as well. Rear window defroster. Capless filler neck back here. 87 octane will do you just fine. You can also put premium in this if you feel like spending a little bit more money at the pump. And then coming around to the back, you get a body color spoiler back here that is very subtle, but it is just a nice little touch. That is what that looks like right there. And then you also get LED sequential taillights back here as well, like they've been doing forever, except these again are LED. I love the black taillight bezel back here as well. You also get a body color deck lid with your GT badge at the center. Just above the GT badge is where you will find your backup camera. Backup camera does come standard. And then if you wanted to open up your trunk, you either can open it up from the interior, a button on the interior, or you also have a button on the key fob that you can use as well. So if I press this button twice, the trunk will pop open. And considering the size of the vehicle, it's a decent sized trunk. You know what I mean? Here is a closer view of what it looks like in here. I have a 2010 Camaro SS, and the trunk opening on my Camaro is way smaller than the trunk opening here on the Mustang. So you can fit a decent sized suitcase back here. And then the last video I did with the GT Premium with the high package, it had the Bang & Olufsen sound system with that package. So basically it had a big subwoofer right here, whereas again, this is the 400A. So there is no subwoofer, so you get a little bit more storage space on that side. You also get a storage cubby on that side. Here are the standard floor mats. They are carpeted that you get with this vehicle, and then underneath here is where you'll find your spare tire. It's nice that this does come with a spare tire, because my Camaro does not come with a spare tire. But anyways, here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. Try to get that on camera right now, and then I'll go a little to the center. There's a center shot, and then coming down just a little bit, you get a satin black rear valance back here with 4 integrated parking sensors. You also get 2 reflectors. You can see your backup light right here, and then you also get a dual exhaust setup. I'll try to catch this side on camera. Catch that side on camera. You can see the satin black rear valance. One thing that I did want to mention is that if you wanted a sportier look back here, you could get the optional $1,225 active valved exhaust. So basically, if you put it in normal mode, you put it in sport mode, you put it in track mode, it's going to get progressively louder depending on which drive mode you are in. And not only does it give you the quad tip exhaust and the noise getting louder between each drive mode, it also adds an additional 6 horsepower and 3 pound-feet of torque, again with the active valved exhaust system. And then with the 6-speed manual transmission, you get a 355 limited slip differential. And then if you wanted more of like a sportier drive and a sportier look than what you get just with the GT or the GT Premium, you might want to look into getting the $4,995 GT Performance package, which would give you a sportier ride, a sportier look, and you can read everything that you get with that package on screen right now. However, if you're going to be dailying one of these, but you want a V8, you want something that's still fast, it still handles pretty well, then this might be the one that you might want to get. However, you know, let's say you want a little bit sportier of a drive, but you don't necessarily want to get a dark horse, I would suggest at least looking into the GT Premium package, because it gives you, I believe, the brakes off of the dark horse, as well as a bunch of other little sporty elements that just add to the driving experience if you're looking more for a sporty driving experience rather than a cruiser, which this is kind of a cruiser, still sporty driving experience, but just not quite as sporty as what you get with that GT Performance package and or the dark horse. But with all that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 5-liter V8 that makes 480 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. However, you can get the optional 10-speed automatic if that is what you are looking for. The manual does 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 14 miles per gallon in the city, 23 miles per gallon on the highway for 17 miles per gallon combined. And then what's new for 2024 under the hood here is the dual throttle body setup that you can see right here and right there. And by the way, you can hear this while you're driving. It sounds like you have an aftermarket cold air intake, and once you get to about 3,500 RPMs, that's really when you can hear this thing sucking down the air, and it sounds awesome when you have the windows rolled down. A couple things I wanted to say though is that this thing is awesome, number one, but number two is that if you wanted like 1 mile per gallon better city combined and highway, you might want to look into getting the 10-speed automatic transmission. It does get 1 mile per gallon better in all aspects. However, the manual is just a little bit more engaging to drive, but the 10-speed is still an awesome transmission, and I had a lot of fun driving that right before I drove this one. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. If you've enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this vehicle in the comments down below, and please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, you do get keyless access, so all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across that thing right there that looks like a lock, and now the vehicle is locked. I did want to show you a couple of the functions on the key fob. So starting from the top, you have your unlock function. One down is your lock function. If you had the 10-speed automatic transmission, right here is where your remote start function would be. However, again, this is the 6-speed manual, so you do have that function right there, and that pops open your trunk. And then all the way at the bottom, you have your panic function. But let's take a look at what the driver's side door panel has to offer here on the GT Premium. So starting at the top, you get some vinyl wrapping. All of this area that I'm circling with my finger right now is all leather wrapped. You get a satin chrome looking door handle. This is like some faux carbon fiber trim. It's like a 3D trim kind of thing. I've seen this on a few new vehicles nowadays. It looks pretty cool, but again, it is not actual carbon fiber. Then you have your satin chrome looking door handle, your unlock and your lock functions, a speaker, side view mirror controls here, automatic up and down windows, and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. Coming over to here, you get a brushed aluminum Mustang door sill. That is what that looks like right there. And then your seat for your driver is partially power and then partially manual. So basically to recline, you do have to pull up on this, and it is manually reclining. This is what the seat looks like, and then your headrests move forwards and backwards, which is a very, very nice thing, especially on long road trips. But let's take a look at what the interior has to offer. So you may notice what is new for the 2023 model year. So now I guess I'll remote start or turn the vehicle on. So if you wanted to turn the vehicle on with the manual, you have to push your foot on the clutch and then push to start. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. So you can see what's new for 2024. You get a 12.4-inch digital gauge cluster, as well as a 13.2-inch Sync 4 infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. But before we get into those screens, I'm going to start over here. I'm going to close my door here real quick, roll a couple windows down, get a nice little cross flow going, and we're going to walk ourselves throughout the interior. So pressing on that button right there is going to pop open the trunk. This is your headlight control knob, and then these buttons are to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster, as well as your backlit buttons. Flipping this down right here gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So basically you can pull the steering wheel towards you, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and then you can also move the steering wheel up and down until you find your comfortable position. But let's take a listen to what the turn signal sounds like first. That is what the turn signal sounds like on the new Mustang. And then you do get a leather wrapped and heated steering wheel with the GT Premium. It looks very, very nice. To turn the heated steering wheel on, you have to press this button right here on your infotainment screen. But just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center of the wheel. So let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the new Ford Mustang. So on the left-hand side of your steering wheel, you have your cruise control settings, as well as this button right here is to turn your lane keeping system on or off. One thing that's really awesome about the 2024 Mustangs is now you get your drive modes on your steering wheel. So you see this mode button here and that mode button right there. Basically, you can go in between your different drive modes: normal, sport, track, drag strip, slippery, custom, and back to normal. One thing that's pretty cool is they bounce between different animations as you go throughout the screen. So this is sport mode, this is track mode, this is your drag strip mode. Come down one more, this is your slippery mode. Then you have your custom mode. Okay, I know. And then all the way down is normal again. Pretty cool, and I like how these control your drive modes. Very easy, rather than like on the S550s, you had a little toggle down here that you would go throughout. But anyways, on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, this, and these three buttons here are all to control your 12.4-inch digital gauge cluster. And then this is to speak to the vehicle. This is gonna bring you in between your different steering feels. So basically you have steering feel normal, steering feel comfort, and steering feel sport. And then that's to go back on a track, that's to go forward on a track. This is to volume down, this is to volume up. This is your windshield wiper control stock. You do get rain sensing wipers again with the GT Premium. But now, right now we are in, I believe, normal mode. So we're in normal mode. So on the left-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your tachometer. On the right-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your speedometer. At the center, that's your digital speedometer readout. That lets us know what gear we're in. That's your coolant temperature gauge. That's letting you know that the lights are on at the moment. Then you got your ambient exterior temperature. That's the compass. This is what you can change with these buttons here. I'll show you that in a second. Then down here, that's letting me know what my steering feel is, my brake is on, emergency brake is on. And then over here, you have your fuel gauge and your fuel range. And then that's your odometer. Other than that, that's kind of about it. And I believe that lets you know what drive mode you are in there as well. Again, you can go throughout this screen right here by clicking down. So basically you have your trip one information, your fuel economy stuff, your tire pressure stuff, your gauge detail. You can see all your different temperatures and pressures, and then all the way down, you have some more gauge detail stuff right there. And that's kind of about it for what you can do on that gauge cluster. But I do want to show you what the gauges look like in sport mode and in track mode. And sport mode, they look a little bit different, basically like here and here. That's what that looks like. This is sport mode again. And then when you go into track mode, it's kind of like a hockey stick kind of thing. It looks kind of cool. I already know, god dang, I'm tired of it popping up. Thankfully it doesn't have like an annoying noise that pops up every time, but you can see more of like a hockey stick kind of thing, and all your important stuff is up top here, whereas all the unimportant stuff kind of comes back down to here. So very, very cool. And yeah, that's about it for that gauge cluster there. Now coming over to here again, this is the 13.2-inch Sync 4 infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. Right now I'm connected to Apple CarPlay, so that's what that looks like there. Back out of that, this is basically like your home screen. That's your time, that is your temperature. Then you get your audio stuff here, Apple CarPlay stuff there, and then your shortcut buttons into your settings, features, and or apps. One thing that's kind of about this vehicle, and also like on the new Ford Escape and the new Lincoln Corsair, is that down here is now where you find your climate control stuff. So you have to use the screen to go throughout your climate control stuff. And then this is your heated seat button and your ventilated seat button right here. Both get 3 levels of adjustability. So both front seats are heated and ventilated, both with 3 levels of adjustability. This is your heated steering wheel button on or off. Dual zone climate control, obviously. And if you wanted to bring the climate control stack throughout the entire screen, you would click right here, and then that will display your entire climate control screen. To back out of that, you click right here and it comes right back down. Then I'll show you what your settings screen looks like here. This is one setting screen. This is your second setting screen. I'd always like to show what the vehicle settings look like, because why not? You can also, with the 6-speed manual, turn the rev matching system on or off, which is very, very cool. So let's say you want to downshift. If you have this rev matching thing on, the vehicle is going to rev match for you. However, let's say you like to do it yourself, you can turn that off and you can rev match for yourself. Very, very nice. Or you don't have to rev match, but you can also go into your instrument cluster. You can choose what you see on the instrument cluster between those different screens that I showed you in normal mode. I'll show you that again, but basically you can turn trip 2 on, you can turn the seatbelt status on, and stuff like that. So basically you can see what you want to on this screen here. So going throughout those different things, you can configure that to your liking. Then back into your home screen, you can go into your features. I always like to show the driver assistance features because I think this is important. So here are some of your driver assistance features that you get with this vehicle. And other than that, kind of about it for that kind of stuff. And then you also get this second split screen, so it brings your phone stuff, your trip 1 and or your fuel economy stuff. And then it also shows you your audio stuff. Coming down, you get some of that faux carbon fiber trim. You get 2 HVAC vents. This lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. This is your start stop button. This is your volume control knob. And then this button's pretty cool because it pops up this screen. You can go into your cluster theme. So right now I'm in sport mode and it's showing the sport gauge cluster. So let's say I'm in sport mode, right? I can go into the track gauge cluster if that's what I wanted to do. So now when I click track, this is what it's always going to be when I turn the vehicle on. However, one thing that I like is having the theme matched to the drive mode that you were in. So that is what I would keep it on, would be that right there. So the theme would change depending on the drive mode that I'm in. And then as standard with this vehicle, you get ambient lighting. You can adjust the ambient lighting color if you wanted to. And then you can see these lines right here are orange. This is orange. This is orange. That's basically like your color. So you can come over here and you can change that to blue if you wanted to. So now this stuff is turning blue. See how that is staying orange? Well, if you come down to here, this is your secondary color. You can make that blue. So now these are gonna turn blue. So you can make whatever color you want to make your vehicle your color. Personally, I'd have it on blue, but I'm just gonna bring it back to what it was because why not? And then you can see these colors go back into the colors that they were. Pretty cool. And then you also have your custom mode that you can configure to your liking. Again, this is your custom driving mode. You get some auxiliary gauges here. Then you can click this, it shows you some more. And I think you can also adjust what you see on here as well. Anyways, back out of that. You also have some track apps, so you can see all these different things. You have launch settings. You can set your launch RPM. You can set your shift indicator, lap time or brake performance, all this kind of stuff. Then you also get launch control and or line lock. Pretty cool. What does it say? Why can't I not go into line lock? Because maybe it doesn't have 500 miles on it? I don't know. What is it? I already know what that is. Anyways, kind of about it for that stuff there. Come down here, that's to turn traction control on or off, then that's to turn your hazards on or off. This is a configurable button, so you can make it your favorites button, so you can turn the rev matching system on or off by the push of that button. So now when I click that, it's going to turn rev match on. Click that button again, it's going to turn the rev matching system off. And basically you can set what you want that favorite button to be, you know, between these two different things. So that could be your launch control button, that could be your auto hold button, that could be your calm screen button. Right now it is set to the rev match button, so pretty cool. And then that is your max front defroster. Coming down a little bit with the GT Premium as standard, you get a wireless charging pad, then that is a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and your 12-volt power outlet. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max and it just barely fits in the wireless charging pad, as you may be able to see right there, but it still fits. Again, this is the 6-speed manual transmission. If you wanted to go into reverse, you pull up on this collar right here, pull all the way to the left and push up, and then that will put you into reverse. This is the MT82 transmission. If you wanted a Tremec, you would have to get the Dark Horse. The MT82, it's okay, but I definitely like the feel of a Tremec better personally. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. This is your electronic parking brake. You get your 2 cup holders right here. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest. And when you open this thing up, you get a 12-volt power outlet down in there. And then I'm gonna put my phone down in there for size reference. Again, iPhone 14 Pro Max, and you can see you still have a little bit of storage space down in there other than your phone. And then you get a spot or a little light down there as well. And then you could set a pen right here if you wanted to as well with that little clip. But moving over to here, this is what this looks like. You get a little Mustang badge right there. You get some leather wrapping. You get some more of that faux carbon fiber trim, and you get an HVAC vent over there. You get 4 HVAC vents total on the dash, and then you also get a lockable lower glove box. Good amount of storage space in that glove box as well. As standard with the GT Premium, you get a frameless and auto dimming rear view mirror. Your driver gets an LED light, your passenger gets an LED light, and then this right here is basically your light settings, whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. And then if you push that all the way to the left, that is basically your instant dome light on button. And then you get a spot you could set your sunglasses up top here as well. Universal garage door opener also comes standard with the GT Premium. If you own a house with 3 different garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with those 3 different buttons. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights. I would have liked to see these vanity lights be LED. However, it's not really that big of a deal. And then you also get a little clip right here. You can set money, registration, or any paper product. Opening this up and sliding this backwards, you get a sliding visor as well, which is always nice. Visor on that side looks the same. One thing I wanted to say is that these seats are very, very comfortable. I mean, I could definitely do a very long road trip in these seats and still be very comfortable. And that is something I really like about Ford products, is that their seats are always very, very comfortable. But A couple things I wanted to go over that you get as standard with the GT Premium. Basically, you get the wireless charging pad, you get the dual zone climate control system, as well as the ambient lighting, the blind spot monitoring, the rear parking sensors, and etc. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at standard stuff. There's not really any options. The only option that this has is the $1,000 gas guzzler tax, and that is something I did want to go over. Is that I did a video with another GT Premium literally right before this. That one had the 10-speed automatic transmission, and you did not have to pay $1,000 for the gas guzzler tax, whereas this one you do. Kind of interesting. Now I want to highlight the MSRP. The MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Mustang GT Premium is spec'd is $48,610. Last one thing I wanted to say anyways, is that these rear seats, definitely small, definitely a little bit cramped for somebody who's 5'9". I could sit back there on a short road trip, maybe like an hour. I wouldn't be the most comfortable, but I could get it done if I needed to. This is a 4-seater, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, headroom very limited for somebody of my size, legroom very limited for somebody of my size. I don't even want to get back there, but I can show you what it looks like back there. Looks like the S550, but you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the 2024 GT. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video, where I always start my videos here. We go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate these vehicles on a scale of 1 to 10. Did nicely over that first speed bump right there. Let's see how it does over this second one. Oh, I'll tell you one option that I highly recommend after this second speed bump here. Again, 5 miles an hour. 7.9 on a scale of 1 to 10. Did very well over those speed bumps. Take a listen. I love driving a manual transmission. However, the 10-speed that I just got out of was an awesome transmission as well. One option that I highly recommend you get, because it really does not cost all that much money, is the active valved exhaust system. Whether you like to drive fast or not, it is a awesome, you know, option to get, because it's only $1,225, but it makes the vehicle just so much louder and so much quieter at the same time. Whether you want it to be loud, you can make it very loud, or you can make it very quiet as well, or you can be somewhere in between. That is something that I really like about the active exhaust system on any vehicle, really, at the end of the day, is that you can make it what you want it. Whether you want it to be very loud, you can make it very loud. If you want it to be quiet because, you know, you live in a neighborhood that, you know, doesn't really like loud cars, you can put it in quiet mode. And then also with the active valved exhaust system, you have a setting that you can set in your infotainment system. Take a listen. There's a setting that you can set in the infotainment system that will let you start it in quiet mode. There's like, it literally says like start quiet mode. So every time you start the vehicle, instead of it being loud, which is how I would want it to start, you can have it be quiet when you want it to start. So basically it closes the valves and makes it very quiet and very friendly to your neighbors who might not necessarily like your loud Mustang like you do. So yeah, active valved exhaust system is one option that I would highly recommend you get. And honestly, I would recommend you get that before you get the 401A. I know the 401A gives you a couple things, you know, niceties that you don't necessarily need, but definitely make the vehicle a little bit nicer. And that was one thing that I liked about the video the vehicle I just did, or video with, was the 401A GT Premium with the 10-speed. Was it had the 10-speed, or not the 10-speed, it had the 401A package, but it also had the active valved exhaust, and I thought that was pretty much like the best of both worlds, because you got the very nice interior, but then you also had the active valved exhaust system, which made a big difference in my opinion. Now, I gotta say, this thing still sounds awesome, and you know, if you just want it to be loud at all times, you can buy this and then just get like a crazy Corsa exhaust system and then just make this obnoxiously loud, because I think many of you know how loud you can make Mustangs. Take a listen. Just a great sounding and driving vehicle, man. I love driving Mustangs, and I really like the new steering wheel that you get with the flat bottom for the 2024 model year. It just feels very good at the 9-3 grip here. Just definitely a nicer feeling steering wheel for the 2024 model year as compared to the S550 Mustangs. I just really like the way that it feels in my hands. It feels smaller, I think, than the S550 Mustangs as well. Again, that could be placebo. I haven't driven an S550 in a little bit of time, but I do feel like the steering wheel feels a little bit smaller, which is a good thing in my opinion. I really like just the way that it drives. Just take a listen to it. Great sound to it. Whether you get the 10-speed or you get the 6-speed manual, you can't really go wrong. The 6-speed is a little bit more engaging to drive, but the 10-speed is honestly still very engaging to drive as well, because the paddle shifters with the 10-speed are now very, very responsive. As soon as you click it, it shifts gears. So that is definitely very nice, and it makes the driving experience more fun when you get the automatic. Let's say you're going to do a turbo build, you might want to look into getting the 10-speed, because that will eat everything up on the road. Whereas the 6-speed, you know, that's where you need a driver mod, let's say. One thing though, as I pointed this out already, and that was the favorite button that you have down here. So right now I have auto rev matching on. I set the favorite button to the rev matching. So now if I tried to downshift, you can see it doesn't rev match. However, I'm going to press that favorite button again. Now when I go into third, it did that. I did not do that. What a great sounding V8, man. That is something I love about the 5 liters. And I, again, own a 2010 Camaro SS LS3, and I just gotta admit, man, the freaking 5 liter sounds amazing. I love the way the 5.0 sounds. I also love the way a good LS sounds. I love the way the good LT sounds. And I also really like the way the 392s and the Hellcat sound. I'm not biased really to any of them, because I think they all sound phenomenal, but I just love how the 5 liter winds up to 7,500 RPM. I don't know the exact red line on this, but I know it's in between like 7,000 and 8,000 RPM. I don't know the exact red line, but man, this thing sounds phenomenal. Drives really, really well. I do know that you can get a magnetic ride control or an active ride control, however Ford calls it, for an additional cost. Take a listen. You get some nice crackles in between shifts, which is all very nice as well. And I'm actually kind of surprised that this gets the crackles between shifts. I really appreciate stuff like that, because it doesn't sound like fake crackles. Like, you know, sometimes vehicles, like, they just have like the crackle tune from factory, and it's just almost too much. This is just a nice little in between shifts, you know what I mean? Pop. Very subtle, but you can hear it when you have the windows up and when you have the radio off. It's very, very nice. And let's say you get a Corsa exhaust, it's going to be quite a bit louder than what it is stock, obviously. I'm going to hit this light here. All right, we made the light. I was going under the speed limit. But yeah, really awesome driving experience. It sounds great. Sound system's actually pretty good for being the base sound system. I'm surprised. However, that would be one reason for me to want to get the 401A, is just because of the Bang & Olufsen sound system sounds just that much better. Just better bass, better clarity, everything's better about the B&O. So, you know, it depends. If you want the 401A, I got a video for that linked in the upper right hand section of this video right now. You can go watch that video and kind of compare this to that, and see, you know, what you really want out of a vehicle. You know, if you want the 401A, you can get that. If you don't, you don't have to. Again, it's all up to you and what you want. But if you guys are interested in this particular Mustang, I'll be sure to have JC's information in the description box down below. Yeah, but that's kind of about it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. If you enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this vehicle in the comments down below. Do you like the S550 or do you prefer the S650? Again, I'm curious to hear what your opinion is, so let me know again in the comments down below. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.